I have been scammed on Alibaba twice. And I want to share with you, firstly, the most sneaky way that they did this. So I ordered my goods from my manufacturer. This was a manufacturer that I trust. Nothing went wrong over there. As I'm sure you may or may not know, when you order goods from Alibaba, you need to have them shipped to you, right? Obviously. So you can either do that directly through the person who manufactured your goods, the manufacturer, they set up, they send it through DHL, whoever. The other way is that you use a freight forwarder, and that's kind of like a middleman who sits in between the manufacturer and you. They take care of the logistics. They're supposed to be able to get you better rates. Usually, that's the recommendation. And if you watch YouTube videos, people tell you to use them. So, for the first time ever, I've never used them. I go try a new freight forwarder. I did a bit of research on them, a little bit of reviews, clearly not enough. And all of these ways that I'm going to share that I was scammed are technically legal, right? They're not illegal, they're just sneaky. So I paid X amount for my goods. It gets shipped to this freight forwarder, right? We negotiate a price and we set a price. Let's say $100 for shipping. And we agree on this price. Then what happens is you have to trust them and ship your goods from China to another warehouse in China, to your freight forwarder. They have to have a bit of communication, get weighball numbers, etc. And usually your manufacturer is willing to ship it over here for free for you because, you know, it's still local. So I get that done. I'm chatting to the manufacturer. They say everything's looking good and it's been shipped out. And I get feedback from them that they've received the goods. I say, cool, we need this shipped. You know, we planned and we set a date when it was going to be shipped. Back and forth, can't get hold of the freight forwarder. And eventually, I think it was 2 weeks later, after chasing them, please, we need the stuff sent out. Meanwhile, this would have long time been sent out already by the manufacturer. Freight forward gets back to me, says, cool, it's going to be $200. It was double the price, right? Now, these aren't exact figures. I would need to go have a look, but it was big. And it was literally just under twice as much. And I said, whoa. Look in our chat, we decided on this amount. And they said, no, well, it's different. And I sent them the sizes, the weight, the product codes, everything that they needed, and still came back double the price. So I chatted to my team at the time and we said, okay, well, what choices do we have? We can't send it back because they're not going to send it back for us. So we can either leave it there and discard it at the cost of the product, or we have to pay double the price. But we're very particular with our numbers, and we costed this item and only approved the item to sell on marketplaces like Takealot and Amazon in South Africa, because we knew that the cost price plus the shipping, we would still make like a nice 50% margin. Now with the shipping being twice as much and us still having to pay import duties and other things, again, because this was air freight, we were stuck between a rock and a hard place. And so we ended up deciding, you know what, we're going to ship the goods, we'll pay them double the price, we will never again use them, and we'll get the goods here, we'll sell them at the original scheduled price, because unfortunately we couldn't raise the price, and then we'll essentially make no money on it, but we'll cover our costs. So we did that. Again, process was delayed. They did eventually ship the goods. It was safe, it was protected. Needless to say, we made no money on those items. In fact, we still had some of them sitting because the item just wasn't moving at that price point. So that's one way where freight forwarders or the middlemen kind of have quite a lot of control, because once your goods are there, if you haven't physically signed something, an actual invoice, you could be screwed. So yeah, that's always something to watch out for. And at the end of the video, I'll chat maybe about a couple of ways to prevent these things. The other biggest way that I see people being scammed on Alibaba legally is through, you'll have these like photoshopped or high quality images of products. You'll maybe ask for some sample photos and they won't show you the thing like in person. They'll just show you, essentially the edited, potentially photoshopped or even rendered photos. You go by size, by weight, reviews, and you think it's a good product. You order it and then it gets here and it's absolute trash, low quality product. And I know people's assumption is, well, that's what you should expect. And that's very naive in my opinion, because China produces a lot of high quality stuff, if I'm not mistaken, including iPhones. So yeah, we've had some phenomenal products that do their job really well and last long that have come from manufacturers. And in fact, this exact manufacturer has provided us with high quality items. And out of that trust, we just ordered this without getting samples and everything. Trusted their word, and the products got here and it was literally unusable. We couldn't put our name on it. We couldn't even sell it unbranded. I even gave it to friends and they were like, I told them it's fine, just throw it in the bin, because it wasn't usable. Some coffee accessories. But the parts were way too thick and didn't fit well. So that's another big way that I see people get legally scammed is they fall for just trusting suppliers. And it's not always that they're trying to rip you off, I guess. But yeah, definitely need to be careful of that. Definitely ways that I get around both of these issues, especially with the product, is I ask them for physical videos. Like, send me a video of it in your hand, please. Send me a video of you using it. And when you build up relationships with the suppliers, which I recommend doing and sticking to them, you really get like a good understanding of them. You really get to trust their products. You can look at reviews, etc. But I always want to see the physical product. And again, like I've said in previous videos, it works out more expensive, but just ship one piece to you. Just go straight through DHL, straight through the manufacturer. If there's like 3 or 4 items you're looking at, before you put your logo on it and everything, just ship the samples to you so you can kind of see what it's about, feel it in your hand, feel the quality, and you can always make adjustments on those products. So yeah, that's another big way. And that was definitely something I learned very early on, and I'm sure if any of you have been buying on Alibaba from manufacturers, you've learned that. Regarding the first one with the shipping, again, people can hate me in the comments and send all their opinions. Unless you're bringing in big volume, where you may as well just go straight to a container and have it shipped by sea freight, which then you can get much better pricing. If it's going by air, I've personally have not found a freight forwarder, a middleman, who's given me a better price than just going through the manufacturer's quote. And it's always been more hassle. I think I've had like 1 or 2 smooth processes. But whenever I just go through the manufacturer's courier, again, DHL, other suppliers, not sponsored by them, obviously, that always works out way better. And it's how we ship a lot of our stuff, because when I was still selling a lot of this, we were bringing way more frequent shipments, so less quantity. So we never had to bring anything in by sea, and the items were never large enough. And even when we had to bring in batteries and magnet stuff that usually struggle by air, there are a couple airports that are able to process those and have the right paperwork. Obviously, just be wary of that. Always check that you can ship it. So yeah, those are the 2 main ways that I see people being scammed. The other ways are obviously if you aren't filtering, like the obvious ways that can prevent you from getting scammed, is make sure that you filter all of the suppliers as verified suppliers. What that's going to do is it's going to allow, it basically means that a third party has gone and actually verified that manufacturer has a real location, real staff, and is providing the products that they've said. So they've been verified by a third party. So always do that. Alibaba also has like a star rating, and so obviously the more stars, the more verifications and ratings that they've had. And then the other way besides verified, I never really do verified pro. It's not much of I haven't seen much of a need for that. And then the other way is always pay through Alibaba, all right? Get your quotes through Alibaba so that there's a reference for the platform, because the platform is very good at protecting you, at least in my experience and others that I know. And the platform is very good at getting refunds and things when all the right communication's been in place. Manufacturers sometimes like, for review sake, you'll order 100 of these, and their quote will come back saying that it's 5 of these, 20 of these, and like 30 of these. And you'll be like, but I'm not ordering those products. They say, no, it's fine. It's just for Alibaba's thing. I don't know what that's about, but I don't like it. So I always tell them, please resend the quote to actually reflect what is coming to me. That's for my own protection as well. Make sure it's the right color, the right size, that everything is documented so that you're in the best place to be able to obviously fight against that should anything arise. Hopefully not. The other way besides using verified is also to pay through, now I'm completely blanking on it now. Oh, Alibaba Trade Assurance. So That's another option that you can filter whenever you search. Just make sure that you've got those filters, and if you type in a new product, it will clear the filters. So just, it's annoying, but just make sure you add them back again. What that basically means is let's say that you agreed everything on paper, you're bringing in 100 pairs of glasses, and the glasses come in and something's wrong with them. A lot of them broke, but they were supposed to be packaged safely. Some are pink, some are red, but you ordered black. Well, then Alibaba, you've got that certain time frame that you can dispute it, and because you paid through a manufacturer who uses or is registered with trade assurance, I'm not sure about the correct terminology, but because you've gone through with trade assurance, you are assured to be able to get that money back and refund it, and to fight for those disputes, which has been helpful in the past with some small things. Other than that, it is a great platform. There are going to be manufacturers that are going to try and intentionally scam people, but just filtering verified and using trade assurance, like, filters out a lot of those people. The other ways that I mentioned that you can legally be scammed, we just need to be careful of those. And I guess that's anything, right? Whenever you go order something, it's very possible that you get promised a great quality product, and you get delivered a poor one. That's just life. That's not just Alibaba. So that's always something you need to watch out for. Principles like getting samples, that should just be what you do to prevent it. Prevention's always far cheaper than trying to fix and cure the issue. We say that, and yet we still make the same mistakes. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that with you, just to share some of the behind the scenes. It's not all, what do they call it? Roses and colors, flowers. I don't know. You guys tell me. But in any case, have a lucky day, have a nice evening, and see you in the next video. Bye.